again, huh? Very good day to one and all. This is episode number 43 of the Silver Fox Silver Fox Hustle podcast. And if you are listening to us from wherever you are, in the car, at home, while working,
on Thunderbolt,
skiving, while you are taking the crap on
making some deposits.
Exactly. Please enjoy the show, and also do not forget to subscribe and follow this podcast on Google, Spotify, Apple, and of course we're on YouTube as well. As you know, we have a great show for you today. You can already tell from the start.
Then why am I here?
In the background. We have an actor, a comedian, a TV and radio personality in the house. He was a full-time Mediacorp artist from 1994 to 2014, a very long 20 years, my friend.
This is your house, by the way. Okay, never mind.
I wished. He has acted in movies like One Leg Kicking, I'm sure you remember that, Young and Fabulous, and so on. His first ever gig was Live on 5, if you can remember that, and if you are that old, like all of us. And then Gurmit's World, from which his most popular character emerged, and that character was Mr. PCK, Mr. Phua Chu Kang. And as PCK, by the way, he won the Best Actor award for a comedy 5 times. 5 times?
5 times.
All right. He even has got a memoir out. What was I thinking? Above all, people forget that this star, that this star rose from humble beginnings to where he is today. Welcome to the Silver Fox Hustle podcast, Mr. Gurmit Singh.
Thank you very much for having me. Good night. That's it. No lucky draw.
After all the
that was a very long intro, man. They know everything about me already. Done. Why am I still here?
Lots of my guests have said that as well. They wanted to leave after the intro.
Right.
Gurmit, thank you for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
And I also heard that you left radio and you are doing a little bit of freelancing. Tell me exactly what you're doing right now.
It's what I've been doing even when I was full time with the TV station. I was hosting dinner and dances. I was doing endorsements. I was doing theatre and stuff like that. Entertainment stuff.
Right.
So I'm still doing that, just on a non-fixed income basis.
Okay, we shall get to that later on.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Let's start off with a little bang, right?
Bang.
You are obviously very popular as Phua Chu Kang.
I've been told.
And to me, you are just Gurmit Singh. You are popular as Gurmit Singh as well, because you can do lots of things, other stuff as well.
Thank you.
How would you introduce this podcast, the Silver Fox Hustle podcast, as first Mr. Gurmit Singh, and then as PCK?
Oh, okay. So like an intro, is it?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is a guest for Silver Fox Hustle. He is a jack of all trades, master of none. Please welcome Gurmit Singh. That's Gurmit.
Well done.
SPCK?
Yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome. First of all, my name is Phua Chu Kang, best in Singapore, JB, and some say Batam, don't worry. Now I want to introduce you to the first guest. I don't know why maybe he a lot of guests like that. Come on, guest. So he's our first guest. He do a lot of things but cannot make it because he never win anything. Only I win 5 ATV or what's ATV? It's not a TV, it's an Asian television award. That means Malaysia, Brunei, China, India all lose to me. But this Gurmit Singh never win anything. Hi, never mind. Okay, let him talk. I give chance. Please welcome Gurmit Singh. So ugly, walao.
Absolutely brilliant. It's class, my friend. That
Thank you.
was class. And how's your throat, by the way, after doing that?
It's yeah. Funny you should ask that. There was one time where I was asked by a bank to do their family day as PCK to host the entire family day. Now after 4 hours at Hard Rock Cafe, this was held, and I'm doing lucky draw at the end, right?
Yeah.
The voice from hello, this is Phua Chu Kang became hello. Now we are number 37. The prime number. Wow. Immediately after that gig, I told Mediacorp I can never do more than 3 hours. Because once I reached 3 hour mark, I was downhill after that. Oh my god.
Hey, that sounded really like the support pillow ad,
Oh yeah! Oh, you know that one, right?
Was that you?
No,
With the
that was
voiceover?
not me. That's the popular.
That was great. Gurmit, brilliant. Now, you had an illustrious career.
Yes.
Yeah, from way back from 1994.
Yeah.
but not many people know. But if they already know, you came from humble beginnings,
Yes, I
right?
did.
Not with a silver spoon in your,
There wasn't even a spoon. I use my hands to eat, no? So
And there you go, exactly.
Indians
right?
rule. Okay. Yeah.
And let's start off from there.
Mm.
So you lived with your parents and two younger sisters, or
Yes.
yeah.
2 younger
So
sisters.
how was growing up? How was your growing up days?
It was, I think I'm not the only one when I say this. A lot of us were trying to make ends meet. My father had 2 jobs, both of them in the security business. So he, in the daytime, would be a security guard for a bank. Then he finished his shift, and then he'll go to the other bank, the same bank, but the branch later on,
Okay.
somewhere else, and be the night watchman, the jaga.
Mm.
So I hardly got to see him except for meal times and on weekends, because on weekends we would go over as a family to visit him, and then we had to sacrifice a lot. I didn't realize this until much later in my years. I remember a time when I was growing up, we passed by an ice cream shop, and I asked my mom, I'm maybe 8 years old or 9 years old. I said, "Can I buy ice cream?" And back then, ice cream is like 5 cents, 10 cents, right?
Yeah.
And she says no. And I told myself, "Wow, my mother is such a stingy person." No? And I grew up thinking that kind of mindset until then about 15, 14. Then I realized, oh my goodness, we are not well to do. And that's what my mother's been trying to do, scrunch every single cent, because she had to pay. She was like the CFO. She had to pay for the school fees, our uniform. And my mom had this great strategy. She would buy a school uniform one size too big, so that can last more than 1 year.
Yes. Yes.
Until the shirt became too tight, the pants became too tight,
And my voice became like this. Mom, time to change. Mom, it's too tight. Too tight.
and then she okay, let's buy. Then we'll go
Ah.
buy new clothes.
Right.
My shoes, I'll wear them until they run out, and then the soles have holes,
Mm.
things like that we did. And I didn't have my own room. I slept on the living room, down on the floor, on
Okay.
the mattress, and that was the kind of growing up I had to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you the doting bigger brother to your sister?
Oh yeah, very much so. I can remember a few times when we were able to afford to go out,
Yeah.
3 of us, like a movie, and then they would go out with their friends. And all
Mm.
that. I got very possessive and protective of any guy who would look at my sisters. Just regular guy looking regularly at my sisters. I was like, what do you want? What do you want? You want some? You want some? And I actually had this conversation with my sisters. I said, sisters, I love you very much. I cannot go out with you. They said, huh? Why? Because every time I see a guy looking at you, I want to bash him up. They say, what? Yeah, I said, I cannot go with you. So you guys go ahead, and then just report to me after that. And I can't take it anymore.
When did this stop?
When did what stop?
When did this stop? Telling your sisters and trying to be so
I don't know. No, I mean, as an older brother, you're always going to be protective, right?
yeah.
But now I think because we are adults now and they're married and
Yeah.
all that, so I think they have their own men to take care of them. So I'm fine with that.
they better.
Yeah, better.
Not many people also know that you suffer from epilepsy.
Okay, I got to define that
Yeah.
because recently I had an appointment with a neurologist.
Okay.
And then I told him about epileptic fit and all that because he did a brain scan and all that. And he says, no, Mr. Gurpreet Singh, you didn't have epileptic fit. You had fits, but not epileptic. So there's a difference between the two.
Right.
So which is great because I was
Just
always-
great.
Yeah, it was great. I'm now fit. Fit as a fits.
And so you had these bouts of fits earlier on when you were growing
Yeah.
up, or now it's gone.
Now I have control. Okay, I tell you what happened was the first fit I had was during national service, right?
Okay.
And mobile blood bank coming in.
Mm.
We got the routine order that if
Okay.
you want to do it,
Yeah.
do for something with the community.
Yeah.
So I did. I had breakfast at 5 in the morning that day. Then 11 o'clock drawing blood.
Mm.
And then when I'm done, the nurse gave me some biscuit to eat. Halfway consuming the biscuit, I passed out.
All right.
When I woke up, they told me, oh, you had a epileptic fit, they told me.
Wow.
So they sent me to do ECG and
Mm.
whatever. And then they said, okay, it's all right. It's just because you were low on blood and all that kind of thing. But subsequently, I kept having a lot of this kind of episodes whereby if I was traumatized by sad news, bad news, and if I'm hungry, and if it's late at night, I will pass out, And I didn't know what was happening until the doctor, after many years, said that it seems that whenever you're hungry or when you are very tired, this happens. So try not to be hungry. So when my wife was giving birth all the time, I always make sure I had a nice buffet before I go in there, and I didn't faint. So that was great, right? And then there was one occasion where this was the last straw for me because I was passing out again.
Okay.
and it was at KL airport, and I couldn't take the plane because I was passing out.
Wow.
And I told the doctor there in the airport that you just give me a lot of saline and I'll eat some food and then I'll be all right. Then I got better. I walked to the lounge and I was passing out again. I vomited and everything. And I said, I cannot live my life like this, you know. And I actually, while rushing to the toilet, I vomited on the way to the toilet.
Yeah.
And that for me was so embarrassing, right?
Right.
So while I'm praying to the throne, you know, into the,
Yeah.
I was thinking, why am I cannot do this anymore, right?
Yeah, of course.
Then suddenly it hit me. Wait, doctors say my blood pressure is low, and that's why I'm easily passing out. What if my blood pressure is high? If I can bring it up. Now, how do you bring it up? I thought, my theory was, when someone is angry, night data, right?
Okay.
Right? The blood pressure goes up.
Yeah.
Why don't I make my blood pressure go up by getting angry?
Okay.
And since I'm an actor, why don't I act I'm angry?
Okay.
Internalize it.
Right.
So while I was vomiting, I started to internalize it, and I started feeling better. And then I went to my manager back then was trying to postpone another flight. I said, no, you can take on this flight. I was very angry.
Yeah.
And I told him what was going through so that he wouldn't take it personally, you see.
Right.
So we went on the plane. I was angry and all that. Landed in Singapore, and I said, okay, now you drive me home, and then so that I don't cause an accident by any chance, right? Got home, told my wife exactly everything that happened in the front door, and I said he'll explain more. I went to the room, and then I passed out.
Wow.
So now every time when I feel the symptoms coming, like the room is spinning, or I haven't had enough food or sleep, I will just start getting angry. I'm like so-called the Incredible Hulk, but don't have the strength kind of thing, right?
I just wanted to tell you that. I really just wanted to tell you, it's like, what is going on here?
Right.
So, but it's good in a way because you know your trigger, which
Yes.
is food,
Yeah.
lack of,
Yeah.
and then obviously when you are not angry,
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
when you're happy, what is that?
No, when I'm happy also, I guess it's a high also because but if I'm just like normal
Okay, so
and I'm
what?
hungry,
Yeah. So what is the official cause or term for that for your so-called condition? What is that?
nothing. Doctor say just because I got low blood
Wow.
pressure, that's all. So just make sure,
So if,
which is good for people my age because usually people my age will be having high blood pressure issues.
yeah, of
Right.
course. But now in a way we all know why you get angry sometimes.
Nothing personal. You know, I'm just don't want to faint.
Wow, that
Give me the coffee now!
Sorry, Mr. Singh.
Hurry up!
that is a story on its own. Like
Right.
a lot of people know that. Like
I don't think so. I didn't go out and do a
Wow.
fatal piece about it.
okay,
On
you
press
should
conference.
maybe. How was school like, Mr. Gurmit?
School. Oh my goodness.
Outram, was it Outram?
Primary school was Pearl Bank, which is just behind OG, People's Park.
So it's no more, right? I'm sure.
It's now the building is still there, but it's no more a school.
Pearl
It's
Bank.
Pearl Bank. It was next to Pearl's Hill.
Okay.
No, sorry. Pearl Bank was next to Park Road.
Okay.
Two little 3-story high building,
Okay.
and then after that they merged, become Pearl Park.
Okay. Okay.
Who thinks of this name? I tell you. And then now it's defunct, no more school, but it's a dormitory for foreign students
Right.
who need accommodations, and that's what they do.
So how was school like?
I was a lousy student in terms of academics. I tried, but my problem is that if I read a book, a textbook, and that has no pictures, after 5 pages, it's
You are the visual kind.
the visual kind. I need pictures.
Right.
So that's why my memo, my book, I made sure that I had pictures in there as well, so that I don't fall asleep reading my own book.
So you were bad academically, right?
Yeah.
Was it as bad as like Mo Alkaf's? Because I spoke to Mo Alkaf as well
Yeah.
a few weeks ago. He
Right.
said he was bad. He failed English. He even
He
failed
failed English.
Exactly.
Okay.
He failed English.
I'm better than him then,
Right.
because I'm having a
So
conversation with you now in English.
So if both of you are in the same class, he will be last in class.
Right. Yeah, he'll be. I usually am the top. I'm actually at the top 10 of the class from the bottom.
Okay.
Alright.
I almost
So Mo would be behind me, I guess. You know?
Right.
So it was very bad, but I was very active in school.
Mm.
I took part in a lot of social activities,
Okay.
sports.
Okay.
You know how report books sometimes, not sometimes, all the time you have a little card there that you fill up all your activities. I always had to staple a piece of foolscap paper
Yeah.
to write down my 25 activities for the year.
CCAs and then whatever you did.
BCAs,
Yeah,
all
right,
that, like
right,
everything
right.
I jump for, I just go in. I was in a harmonica group, I was in a Malay dance group, I was in a debate
Malay
team.
dance group.
Yes.
Wow.
Malay dance, I was in soccer, I was in counselor, I was so many things.
What was
Harmonica
your,
as well. Yeah,
what was your second language? It was
Malay.
called second language then, right?
Yeah, Malay.
Now it's what mother tongue, right?
yeah, mother.
Yeah. So
Why is it
Malay.
not- Why is it not father?
Exactly right. So it's Malay.
Malay.
So your Malay must be damn good.
Well, it's
But you speak Mandarin?
No, I don't.
You don't?
That's the funny thing, isn't it? Because
Mm.
I've told Mediacorp Station that I took Malay as a second language, but I never got casted in any Surya projects.
Okay.
However,
You could, right? You could have
I
been.
could have. I could
Anytime,
have.
anytime.
Anytime, just say, give me the script and I would have like got in. But I don't know why. And then maybe I think because the market and the is smaller, the pool is too big, and the last thing you need is another guy coming in to take away a job from another person, right? That's my theory.
Mm.
But I never did Chinese, but I still got a Chinese project, and this is one of those stories where you know never speak too soon because I
Oh,
I
yeah,
told
of course.
the artist management, I said, hey, I think it's a great idea, fun idea if
Okay.
I do a Chinese drama,
Okay.
but a character that comes in like once every 5 episodes,
Okay.
says one line only and then goes off, kind of like hey, wasn't that a good bit? Okay,
Right,
done.
right,
Okay.
right, right.
They said, oh, okay, that'd be fun. And then when they got back, they said Chinese drama is very exciting. I said, oh, great, okay.
Okay.
And then after that, they called me to the office, and there was this pile of scripts,
Wow.
20 episodes. Now, early on, I
When
told
was
them,
this?
this was in 2007.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And I already told them, I said, look, I did not take Chinese as second language, right? So I cannot speak Chinese language.
Okay.
They said, okay, roger that, okay? When I saw the script, my lines are so many. Then I said, wait, did you forget to edit it down? They said, no, it's already edited. I said, what? No way.
So you're gonna speak like loads, right?
Loads. There are some pages where I speak. There was one scene where I'm acting against Li Nansing.
Okay.
The scene starts with him saying, come on, like,
Okay.
what's up?
Yeah.
And that's all he says. And the next 4 pages is me. Are you kidding me? So I had to hire a Chinese tutor,
Okay.
right? And because I was so busy back then, in any given day I'll be doing 3 to 5 projects because I was doing
Yeah.
photo shoots, I was doing
Yeah.
interviews, I was doing English dramas,
Yeah.
sitcoms, what have you. And she would come to my house at midnight, and we'll do a 2-hour tuition thing. And the process was really labor intensive because I would show her the script, then I would record her saying my script.
Okay.
Once she's recorded it, I ask her what does she mean. So she'll tell me translation. I write down in English next to my
Right.
script in the
Right.
page.
Right.
And then after that, she'll ask me to repeat back after her. So I repeat back after her and record it so she will hear whether I'm correctly speaking. Then I ask her what the others are saying so I know how to react as an actor.
Mm.
So I have to write down as well my notes, what you're saying to me. So don't look like an idiot when you're trying to scold me, I'm actually smiling at you.
Okay, with the expressions and how
Yeah,
you react, right?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did all that. So then I'll have 4 hours sleep and then 6 o'clock get up and go filming again, right? It was so tough. There was that. Remember that scene I said where he only had one line
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
had
yeah.
4 pages.
Right.
That was really the last straw, and I told everybody, "There's no way I can get through this unless I cheat." I've never cheated. I always pride myself
Right.
in learning my script
Okay.
and doing well and even improving it, right?
Okay.
So I said I had to cheat. And I said, okay. So what happened was this. The scene starts with him saying, come ma, I'm at the office. I enter his door and I start saying the Chinese lines, right? I've memorized them.
Okay.
And then I lean over his table. He's seated, I'm leaning over the table, and he's got a daily planner
Right.
on the table. Some of my lines are there.
Okay.
So I look down and look at him and then look very casually at him and at the table while looking at my lines. And then I sit down in front of him and say my lines that I've memorized. And then I put my foot up on his table, but on the foot is a post-it.
Okay.
The post-it, the thing on
Yeah,
my shoe.
Yeah.
And there are some lines there that I look at. And I'm saying my lines, like nonchalantly. And then I put my foot down and I walk around him to get to the coffee machine behind him. While I'm walking and talking, I've memorized that part. And then when I'm pouring coffee, underneath my coffee cup is the script. So I can continue and finish my lines there. That one take, particularly the first take, I was so concentrated on the script,
Yeah.
I pour the coffee overflow the cup.
Right.
And that's how I did it.
And it was recorded and it was aired.
But nobody knew I was
Yeah, yeah.
cheating. Nobody knew I was looking at
Till
all this
now.
stuff. Yeah. Oh, oops.
Till now. But listen, that is
Yeah.
so tough because you're an actor, right? While trying to act and then reading and there's
Yeah.
so many things going on in your head.
Yeah. And even those things that I memorized it, I am not using Hanyun Pinyin, by the way. You would think. I'm using my own Gurmit Pinyin.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, the line is 我是你的爸爸. That means I am your father.
Yeah.
The war is WAR.
Okay.
Sure is HHER.
Right.
Sure
Oh,
is
wow, yeah.
Ni is KNEE.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
papa.
However you can
Yeah.
do it, you know.
Yeah, so as I
how-
can read it.
Yeah. Wow.
It was tough. And 1 week later,
I had chest pains on set. And I say, I'm going to die now on a Chinese set. And then left side some more, and left hand also feeling the ache. I said, signs and symptoms of a heart attack.
God.
Stopped filming, went to the hospital A&E, and then they did some tests and everything. Doctor came out and said, okay, good news is you have no heart attack. I said, okay, then what was that? Anxiety attack.
Yeah.
You are so anxious that you cannot
Wow.
function, your body is just shutting down. So they gave me some pills. They said when the attack comes again, just pop in the pill and it will relax you. But when you relax, you cannot do anything. Like, hey, what's up, bro? What's up?
Exactly.
Yeah. So there you go.
So the moral of the story is Surya get
Yeah.
Gurmit Singh so that he won't be stressed out, there won't be anxiety attacks. And
Yelah.
it's so easy for him to just
Jangan gitulah. Ambil
Exactly.
saja. Saya boleh cakap bahasa Melayu. With the accent.
Yes, exactly. And it's funny how from second language we've gone to acting, and it's that's the life story of Gurmit Singh. And we talk about this podcast. It's about the hustle, right? It's about working hard. It's about work ethics. And
Yeah.
if you don't already know that acting is not just going out there and talking rubbish and being, it's work.
I gotta say, a lot of new greenhorns who come in, they have the misconception that once I come in and get a project, I will be having a lot of endorsements. I can wear glasses and wear blink, free of charge, and go to parties. You have to pay your dues, man. You have to work in the sun. You have to do multiple takes through no fault of your own.
Yeah.
I give you an example. I'm standing outside as Portugal, very hot like crazy,
Yeah.
with the wig and the boots and all that. And my line is, for example, hello, Rosie, can you please then pop on? Car pass by horns.
Right.
Okay, stop, take again, director says. And something else, bicycle ring, or motorbike, or aeroplane, or helicopter, or rocket, Elon Musk, whatever. You just have to keep doing over and over again. So there are a lot of things you got to really go through the grind before you reach that so-called superstar. Even that is not guaranteed, by the way.
Exactly.
It's not guaranteed.
Did you realize then that you had talent or a talent to entertain people while growing up, right? You
Right.
Like you said, you've been doing all these CCAs, harmonica group, and maybe
Yeah.
maybe drama as well, and
Yeah,
what,
yes,
what,
yes.
what have you,
All
right?
that dancing.
Did you at any point during that time say, listen, I've got a talent here. Maybe this could be it in the future.
No.
No.
No. In fact, the opposite. I always thought I wasn't good enough.
Wow.
Even to today, when I'm recording PCK and all that, when we shoot a scene and then director says cut, a lot of actors will go to the monitor to see the playback to
okay.
see, that's what I did. All
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't do that.
Why?
I cannot self-criticize like crazy.
Or you will self-criticize.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I
okay.
stopped doing that very early on in my career because I thought I get myself in a depressive mode and I don't need that when I'm trying to do my job. What I did growing up doing all this, the performance on stage at school, was that I enjoy doing it. I had the passion. I
Right.
liked doing it. Whether I was good enough was a different story altogether. And I thought maybe, hopefully one day, I could get a career doing this. That would be quite fun. Because in secondary school, my teacher came to me and said, that performance you did on stage was so funny, was so good. I did with another teacher. You should go through like the New York School of Performing Arts kind of thing and hone in your art. And I said, well, I can't even buy my school shorts. You want me to, And I said, thank her for the compliment. And back
Last in class, more.
I know. And I was thinking, but if I could do something like that as a career, that would be great. And I think God answered my prayers, and here I am.
In a way, you talk about the self-critiquing in front of the monitor or whatever. I get a little bit of that because sometimes, when I do this as well, then when I go home and I just don't like listening to myself. Like
Yeah. I know. I get
it's
it.
weird. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
no, I'd rather listen to somebody else, right?
Right.
So yeah,
So shut up.
yeah,
No.
okay.
No.
Damn. The real me is quiet, introverted,
Yeah.
and doesn't socialize much.
No.
People from the outside, right, wouldn't think so,
I
right?
know,
Because
right?
of your,
Yeah.
obviously because of your character and
Yeah.
whatever in terms of the acting part or the drama part. But really,
Yeah, so here's the thing. As an introvert, I'm scared. I feel very vulnerable. I have an inferiority complex, by the way, whereby I think I'm always scum of the earth and all that. But it's gotten better over the years.
Okay.
No, really, I feel I'm ugly and all.
why? Why?
It's just a complex, right? You can't explain it. But it was so bad last time, but now I'm a bit better. For example, I used to think I'm so ugly that the Hunchback of Notre Dame is, Mr. Manhunt himself. But then one day I realized that if I do that, I'm actually insulting my parents, right? Because I'm a combination of them. I think my parents are beautiful people. My mother is beautiful. My father is handsome and all. So I had to. But
doing this thing, performing different characters,
Yeah.
was an escape for me. To be able to
Ah,
try something else, do something, be
Yeah.
somebody else. And because I'm somebody else, I don't feel I'm invaded.
mm.
You know, you see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
that's why when I do things as myself, I'm a bit more scared. But you ask me to do as PCK, oh, full on.
Is it something like you feel like, okay, let's say if you're PCK and you're acting things out as PCK,
Mhm.
or your character is PCK, when people criticize you, they're criticizing PCK, not Gurmit Singh. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
So when I do another character, your drama,
Mutu?
Mutu, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to
Yeah.
to separate the two, I guess.
Mm.
That's why when people ask me, so are you similar to PCK? Have you become PCK now in real life? I said no, because it's a whole new different character.
Right. So
altogether.
you don't socialize much.
No, I'm happy sitting in front of the TV, watching movies after movies after movies, or binging TV shows, or playing Dota, which is a
Ah, okay.
computer game.
Right.
The kids play it. I go to the LAN shop, and the kids say, "Uncle, what are you here?"
You really go to the shop and then it's just
Yeah, the LAN shop.
Wow.
I'm a regular.
Tell me, Mr. Gurmit, about the Filet O Fish story. It's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story, really.
Thank you. So we touched on the thing that I wasn't. My parents weren't happy. Weren't rich or well-to-do even. And in school, my pocket money was just 40 cents.
40 cents.
40 cents.
This was which year?
This was in 1985.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know there was very little because economics class, pre-university, right? The teacher wanted to do a real-life example, supply, price, and demand.
Okay.
So she thought, let's use Gurmit. And she asked me a question, and I always get my answers wrong anyway, right? And I said, okay, I'm gonna end up standing in class. So I'm at the very end of the class, by the way, so I can hide, right? And she says, Gurmit, what is your allowance per day? I said, great God, this is an easy question because it's my answer, right? Can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
So with full pride and superiority, I said 40 cents. And then there was a pause. And the teacher said, never mind. Thank you, sit down. Like, and as I'm sitting down, I'm thinking, what do you mean, never mind? Did I answer wrongly? Did I say 40 cents? Did I pronounce it wrongly? What the heck is going on? Then she proceeded to ask the other classmates, and I heard $5, $10, $20 even.
Per day,
Per
$20.
day. Yeah, she comes in a chauffeur, Jaguar. So I thought, okay, must kidnap her one day and get ransom. And so that was how poor I was. So at the end of the school day, right, each time my friends before that will ask me, hey, Gurmit, let's go to a fast food restaurant, McDonald's, for example, and have a burger and hang out. I don't have enough money, I only have 40 cents. What? Back then, you can't even buy one French fry with 40 cents. So I'll give an excuse like, oh, my mother's have to do this, or my teacher said I have to do this, and all that kind of thing. One day I decided, you know what, enough is enough. I'm running out of excuses, right?
Yeah.
So I started not spending the 40 cents during recess and saving it
Okay.
and starving during recess. So that by Friday, I'll have $2. And when Friday my friend says, hey, want to go to McDonald's? I'll say, sure, no problem. And back in the day, $2 you can buy a filet o fish meal. And I would relish the meal, right? To this day, whenever I go to a new country, a new city or whatever for work or for holiday, one of the things I'll do is go to McDonald's. And my family knows this. It's a ritual that I do. And then I will buy just a filet burger. Then I'll go to one corner, take away, go to one corner, and then I'll pray to God. And I say, thank you, God, for letting me allowing me to have this privilege and blessing me that I can have this filet of fish anytime I want and not having to starve anymore.
Wow.
And I eat the burger.
Wow.
Because I could remember where it came from. I think it's very important. Most of us forget when we are blessed or when we are given wonderful opportunities. When we forget where we come from, we lose a lot of us, part of ourselves. And I think that's dangerous.
Right.
And you forget to be grateful. And when you're not grateful, you treat the people around you like scum.
Yeah.
Because you think you're better than them.
Yes.
And I hope I never like that.
Wow.
Right.
So that's a beautiful story, and you're cheering as well now.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's I gotta tell you, I really thought that I would be poor my whole life. Right? I remember 13 years old, I was at my father's bank all alone. Because sometimes I take over his duties.
Okay.
But nobody knew then. We just between the family only. I did a prayer. I said, God, my father is working very hard. I have nothing against security guards and all that, but the pay cannot support a family.
And I hope one day when I grow up, I don't become a security guard as well. I hope I can do something better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But with my grades the way they were, I thought I was going to go because my grandfather was also a security guard. My father also. I thought this is a family tradition. I'm going to become a security guard as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that for my future family.
Wow. That's it's a very wonderful story, and for listeners who are listening in as well, and kids and adults alike, right? It's just about being grateful at the end of the day.
Oh,
know
yeah.
where you come from.
Yeah.
And I was just about to ask you the next question, which was, living under such conditions over the years, and obviously while growing up, what was the one single thing that you learned most, the lesson that you learned most, that you have taken up till today? Was that it?
I remember. I don't know where this came from. Maybe it's my late father's and my late mother's subliminal teaching, but my father was a very kind soul to anybody. Regardless of your status, your rank, or whatever. And the other thing that I remember growing up is that when bad things happened to me, I would start to complain in my head, like, oh man, why? And then I'll stop short because I'll suddenly ask myself, why not? Because somebody else in the world is having a worse day than you. So who are you to complain? Because back then I already had seen, how Ethiopia children were dying every day because they didn't have any food and they didn't have proper sanitation, no basics, human rights that they had fulfilled. And for me to hear in an aircon room with shoes with holes, never mind, but to complain, I thought was a bit rude, to say the least.
Yeah.
And that will always stop me from becoming an asshole.
Right.
I felt.
That's wonderful. It's very nice that slowly you've done all that, and it's all through hard work as well.
Oh yeah.
It's not like you won a lottery or something like that, and then you suddenly became big, right?
No.
It's a great story as well from then on, and then the hard work as well. Let's start off with the MediaCorp, right? How you started off at MediaCorp, I mean. How did you get the first gig? Like was it like by chance? Like, because I've spoken to a few guys before this on the podcast, and some of them, interestingly, just fell into it like by chance. Like, hey, someone, and they got into the industry, right? How about yourself?
Well, after sleeping with a few producers.
That's a good story.
no, it's not. So to backtrack a little bit so you get context, before MediaCorp, I was performing in Hopong Fana. And we would do musical live shows. And those shows required interaction with the audience.
But this is for whom? Who were you performing with, or what group was this? Like, was it?
Haw Par Villa. I was full-time in Haw Par Villa.
Ah, right. Okay.
So it's a theme park, and we are the performers there, and then tourists and locals come in, watch the show. Yeah. And we'll get people up on stage and make them do parts and have interaction, have fun with them. On one particular day after the show was over, someone stayed back, and that someone was a TV producer, back then SBC.
Wow.
And I know, right? And she said, we watched you. You're very quick on your feet because you needed us to be spontaneous, depending on what the audience responded. You would be very good for TV. And I said, wow, okay, but thanks. By my head, I thought like, how? No way lah, 4 years later, someone knew someone who knew someone who knew someone.
Right.
Knew me. Yeah. And this producer asked me to come in for an audition.
Okay.
And they were hoping to do a variety show.
That's a long 4 years, man. To like.
Yeah. So by now I already forgotten about it. When they called me, I said, sorry, who is this? Who is this? Remember that time I said, oh, sorry? I thought it was a scam. So I arrived, and the first thing they did was take me to the taxi stand outside MediaCorp for an audition. I said, what the hell are we doing outside here? So the camera crew is there. I said, okay, now for 30 seconds, talk to the camera and introduce yourself, who you are and all that. Okay. So I said, okay, I'm Kevin Singh, blah, 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 blah. Okay, next thing I want you to do, said the director, 1 minute, pretend there is a celebrity next to you who is here for a concert in Singapore and interview him or her.
Right.
Okay.
Without a script, without
nothing.
Yeah.
So I just turned to my right and just, it's hi, welcome, thank you for being a part of the show, blah, blah. Like, what are you doing now, right?
Yeah.
And then 1 minute done. They said, okay, thank you, we'll call you. Or those dreaded lines, we'll call you.
Yeah.
They will call you, right? Yeah. Sometime went by, I don't know specifically how many weeks, then they said you're shortlisted. Now you go for screen test, meaning you go into the studio itself with a proper backdrop, cameras, and others will be shortlisted. And they were looking for 2 hosts, male and female, to pair up for the show.
Yeah.
I just saw beautiful ladies lah, handsome guys lah, muscular and all that.
How many? Roughly about.
I think there were 8 of us in total,
Right.
four, right? And I was saying, I'm not gonna get this gig lah for sure. So I did my bit, say the script. They give me the script
Yeah.
to the camera and talk, and I'm done. Then after that, I got a call. Then they said, okay, good news, you have been selected to be the host. I said, oh my goodness, I beat those, bloody good-looking guys. Then I said, oh great, okay, so who's the female host? They said none. I said what? I say what? No, only you alone will be the host. I said, but it's a live show, right? Which
Yeah.
means I have to take the whole burden. If it's somebody else, we can 50
So you already knew what the show, roughly
Yeah.
what the show
Yeah.
was, and
Yeah.
so what you were doing
Yeah.
it for, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, so I'm gonna do the whole live show
Wow.
by myself. I said, yeah. And not only is it live, it's 1 hour. So there's a lot of introductions, interviews. There were
Yeah.
5 stages and all that.
Yeah.
And back then we didn't have earmods,
Okay.
so there will be floor managers next to the camera, the main camera.
Mm.
And I learned quickly that whenever the light comes on top of the camera, that's the camera you're
Okay.
supposed to be facing, right? And I will turn this way, I'll turn that way,
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
And then the cameraman would give me hand gestures to tell me whether to drag it a little bit more
Yeah.
because we have a bit more time because of the live
Yes,
show, right?
Yes. Yes.
Or to round it up, or to cut because we are running out of time. Dude, just shut up and
Yeah.
go to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
So that was my life. Every Monday night before the show, I get diarrhea because I was so anxious for the show.
Okay.
To today, I still get butterflies in my stomach.
That's good actually, right?
It is,
Yes.
yes, because it means you care.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For a time, I didn't think that. I was like, I'm such a pathetic professional.
Yeah.
And then there was one particular time when I was at the end of the show, right? And I get the hand gesture from the floor manager.
Yeah.
Round it up.
Okay.
Okay, so the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I say, hey, it was a great show. Thanks very much. And next week we have so. Until I see you again, everybody, good night. As soon as I say good night, he gave me the hand gesture to drag it out.
What?
After I said good night.
Okay.
So I said, okay, and good night. But before I go, and I went on to talk and
Yeah.
interview the band that was on stage and all
Yeah.
that for the next 2 minutes, which
Wow.
seemed like 2 hours to me. It turned out that the guy who was taking track of time
Okay.
miscalculated by 2 minutes.
Right,
And that's
right,
why I had
right.
to.
I see.
And then only 3 months later, the producer came to me and said, "Oh, by the way, you've been confirmed." I said, "Sorry, what?" All this time you were on probation. I said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, because I wanted you to be the host, but the higher management thought you're not good looking enough."
You mean this was after recording and
Yeah, for 3 months. For 3 months we were doing the show
and it
live.
was already live.
It was really live. But higher management would say he wanted me to be the host, right? But higher management said no, he's not the guy because we want
okay.
someone who's
Yeah.
Ken and Barbie kind of look.
Yeah,
He's not the guy. But the producer said I need someone who can talk his head off,
Yeah.
his mic off, because this is a live show.
Right. Of course.
And they were in. And finally after 3 months, my higher management said, yeah, actually, okay, good choice. You can keep him.
No, this is an amazing story as well. And people, if you are listening in at home and what have you, and those who've done this before, right, in front of the camera and
Mhm.
with the producers and what have you, right, it's not easy
No.
talking to a camera.
Yeah.
And when somebody says, no, you got to go on for another 2 minutes, and that 2 minutes is, trust me, it's long.
Yes.
Because what do you
Yes.
say in 2 minutes to fill up that time?
Yeah.
And so you had to be very spontaneous.
Yeah.
Go with the flow.
Yeah.
On your feet kind of guy.
Yeah.
You got to think on your feet.
Yeah.
And that is remarkable to me. And that's what presenters do, by the way. If you're listening in,
Yeah.
that's what they do.
Yeah.
And the other important thing that something interesting you said that the, what do you call it in the
Ear monitor.
yeah, the ear monitor, right? If you don't, I sometimes had that when I was doing some punditry for football, and sometimes it gets irritating as well. It irritates
yeah.
me. But
Yeah.
I can't imagine how because usually the main presenter gets it,
Right.
right? Because the producer says, okay, I have another 2 minutes, for example. You got to tell the guy to it's a wrap or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes when I'm talking and then people start talking into
Yeah,
your ears, it gets irritating, right? And
Right.
you might be thrown off.
Yes,
How do
exactly.
you feel about that? Like it's like.
I got a classic example. First of all, some directors don't know the proper protocol. They should speak to your ear when you're not speaking. But not many of them have that common sense, So Singapore Idol,
Ah, yes.
ear on, right? and I can hear every single thing that's going on in the panel room. From the phone ringing to the cameraman talking back to the director talking to the cameraman, hear all kinds of things while I'm talking and delivering my lines to the judges and the participants. And that's why in Singapore, a lot of times I stumbled because I was speaking halfway and suddenly I heard something. And I would hear like while I'm talking to a contestant, I would hear the director saying, "Hey, Gurmit, ask the question. Now, how come you cannot talk like that? You must say, Gurmit, ask why they feel that way. That's it, simple. Hey, Gurmit. Okay, Gurmit, ask them. You cannot do that because you're panicking my head, right? There's panic voice in my head. And then there's a phone ringing, ring. And I was like, well, somebody please get that. And then there was
what's for dinner?
Yeah,
in the background.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was one time even where I was telling somebody, there's a line, and I said, the ones going through, please step forward and call your name, right? So I know the results, right?
Yeah.
And then the director tells me, okay, call so and so. I said, call so and so, step forward. Okay, call so and so, step forward. And I said, call so and so, and I'm like, wait, this person did not win. He's not going to the next round. Why are you calling his name? And directors keep saying, call so and so. I'm like, I wonder who is next. I say on the microphone, because some of you are going home, some of you are going to the next round.
Yeah.
Who will it be?
Yeah.
We have to be very careful. Whose name you announce?
You actually said that.
I said it on the mic so that I give it like a little clue.
Yeah.
Then the director like, oh sorry, come in. Okay, that one not going through.
Hey, this was like the what happened with the Miss Universe. Remember the guy who, what's his name? He actually said this is the winner, but actually she wasn't, or something like that.
Oh
He's
yes.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah. Right. So that
Family Feud guy.
yeah, that could have happened. It's like ridiculous. And then who's embarrassed? The contestants who will be embarrassed. At the end of the
I
day,
tell you, the MC is more embarrassed than anything else. He thinks that's the end of his career. I did one. I remember NUS dinner and dance, and they had a beauty contest thing and all that. And I saw it wrongly.
Wow.
And I read the winner is. It turns out to be the runner. And once it was done, I could see the judges and the committee be like, no, pointing at my card and look at the card. I said, oh my goodness. I said, I'm so sorry, I apologize. And the runner-up turned around to me and said, are you kidding me? She screamed. She's like unhappy, And I said, it's an honest mistake. I wish I hadn't made it, but I have made it, and I have to own it now. And I'm sorry, but you are runner-up, and the winner, of course, is hey, anticlimax.
Wow.
But
it's lessons, right? It's things that
no one's perfect.
Exactly. And again, another a lesson for all of us. We get down, but we need to rise after that, right?
Yeah.
After a while. That's amazing. And another thing that it's like from out of nowhere, you talk about being spotted, and then after 4 years, and then being given the role, and it's like you alone, because it's like you're so-called the main star, right? Like because you're the presenter. It's amazing. And then obviously after that came Gurmit's World.
Yeah.
And again, it's like your name in there, right? It's Gurmit's World. It's your show.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? Like,
it is.
Wow.
Considering the fact that when I first finally they gave me the contract to sign, right, for Life on 5. Management said, we love what you're doing on TV and it's a great and everything, except for one little issue before you sign this full-time contract. I said, what was that?
Your hair was too long then.
No, that one already solved before that.
Cut already, yeah.
Cut already because they said it looked like Douglas Oliveira. He was doing the Rolling Good Times. Both of us had curly, long hair.
Do you know him, by the way? Like,
yeah.
He's still in contact?
No.
Yeah? Okay.
No. And so I said, what is the issue? Your name. I said, sorry, what's wrong with my name? It's not TV-ish. So I said, what would be my TV-ish name? I said, it would be good if you could change your name to Christopher.
You?
Christopher? Oh, I look like Christopher? Yeah, you look like Christopher. In fact, your name should be Christopher D'Souza.
What?
Oh, okay. And they said, can you consider doing that before signing the contract?
Who was this, by the way?
I wouldn't say like because it's not. It would be very rude. So I didn't have to go home and think about it. No, I said I can tell you now that 2 reasons why I will say no to this. Number 1, my parents gave me my name. It would be a total insult to them. Right? Number 2, I may forget this is my name. So when I'm walking in the street, hey Chris, I like walk around. No,
you're right.
Hey, oh sorry, hi, it's me. Yeah, I forgot my name. Sorry. It doesn't make sense. So they said, and then they came back and said, okay, you know what? Okay, sign the autograph. Sign the contract. We'll take you anyway.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, after that, every other show was with my name, Gurmit's World, Gurmit's World, to that with Gurmit.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
And then there was a kid show called Gurmit Small Talk. It's all about Gurmit,
Yeah.
which is ironic.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Right? Your own. It's brilliant, right? Uh, you were also supposed to be under one roof. Were you disappointed when you didn't get the call?
When I got that news, I thought my whole world had ended because when I joined, this was after Live on 5, during Live on 5.
Yeah.
And I was told this piece of news that, hey, the team was thinking of getting you to be part of Underworld Roof. And back then, Underworld Roof was king of comedy, right? Everybody was watching Underworld Roof. And they said, we thought you'd be playing the role of this band singer, nighttime club singer. And because you do night jobs and all that, daytime, and you come into the room in the Underworld Roof family, you're damn cock and, very blur. And basically Joey on weed,
Yeah.
right, from Friends.
Right.
And I thought, oh, that's such a good role. Then they said, yeah, but we decided there are too many characters already. So I said, oh man, okay, be part of that wonderful.
So you would have been that one extra person in that show, right?
Yeah. And I said, wow, what kind of. So I felt like there was a blow on my career, right?
Yeah.
But this is how when you hindsight, when one thing is taken away, I feel God prepares you for another thing. Because if I had done that, PCK may not have come around. Gurmit's World would have not come around, right?
I always believed in that one bit that everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
Same
here.
Yeah. It's somehow something will just like.
Yeah. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, right?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, from Gurmit's World one thing led to another, and then there was PCK, which is one of the characters in Gurmit's World, together with Mr. Mutu and
Mutu and Smart Alec, and Major something.
Yeah. So it was Phua Chu Kang. Now, how did actually Phua Chu Kang come into like having a life of its own? You talk about Mutus and the rest of the guys, right?
Yeah.
Why PCK? Why did he stand out? Do you think?
I mean, we have many theories. We've had a lot of feedbacks because I can't say for myself.
Yeah.
But people tell me that it's because he is irreverent,
Okay.
yet approachable.
Okay.
He is funny. He was on a new universe, new dimension, because he was doing Singlish and all that. The Underworld Roof was a proper English family.
Of course.
But PCK was true Heartlander,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of people could see that. Even Malaysians saw that, they said, oh, this is just like me,
They could relate to.
Very relatable,
Yeah.
right? So it kudos to the creative team when we got together and sat down, right? We even discussed in detail and at length whether there should be a mole and where the mole should be, and whether there should be a little hair sticking out from the mole.
Right.
And we put it to focus group and all that. So
Focus on a mole.
on the mole. So the thing was that if there is a hair sticking on the mole, he looks sleazy, right? And that would turn people off. So there will be no hair on the mole. Then the mole position, whether it's on the nose, on the forehead, all that, we decided to be just on the right. So sort of like he can't see it, but the whole world can see it.
Okay.
So there was this thinking, there was this process behind it. People think I just put for fun. No. There was a lot of science behind it as well, I guess.
Science behind a mole. I like that.
A lot of thinking about it. Yeah.
And listeners, if you have a mole and you have hair sticking out from your mole, you either cut that hair off or you are one sleazy fella.
Or go work as a loan shark. It'll help you further your career. But that's the kind of thinking we went through. Yeah.
And believe it or not, right? PCK struggled the first season.
Oh, before the first season.
Oh, before
even the first season.
Yeah. What were the problems faced? Because I read it and what? Just tell us.
Okay.
A few things.
In TV world, once a project is approved, sales and marketing will go out.
Okay.
And go to sponsors because that's where we get our salaries from.
Okay.
Money from. And every company they went to, they all replied, doesn't align with our branding, our imaging. Because can you imagine them having PCK very crass, bad English, abrasive, and all that? Even though they were told it's very relatable, very funny, and all that, but they only saw the negative.
Okay.
And every one of them turned down.
Could you understand that?
No, I couldn't. Because I didn't think they gave it a good enough look into it.
Okay.
Right. I think because they were brainwashed in the good English campaign kind of thing, right?
I understand.
And before we even went on air, we had no budget.
Yeah.
Zero. So we were losing money already. Our rehearsal room, supposed to be a fine, comfortable aircon room, wasn't that. It was the storeroom. So
So we had one 1 inch by 1 inch window at the
Okay.
back of the storeroom, and that's where we rehearsed in a dusty, murky
Wow. Where was this in
in Mediacorp basement.
Okay.
And you know, there was a day actually when we all got like very depressed. We were coming for rehearsal, and then the producer picked it up and said, "Look, I know this is rubbish, but I think we have a decent product.
Yeah.
Let's just push through, and hopefully something
Okay.
turns up."
Yeah.
So before we once we went on air, every episode was potential to be our last episode because losing money.
Okay.
But at the same time, we submitted our tape to Asian Television Awards
Okay.
for Best Comedy, Best
Right.
Best Actor, and Best Actress.
Yeah.
And we beat Under One Roof.
So that was the first year when you guys.
Yeah. And suddenly everybody noticed us. The
Right.
next season, we became over-sponsored. I say that because there was product placement everywhere, and we got items to hold, and we had even in the script, and even in commercial breaks. You will notice back then, commercial breaks will be slots bought by sponsors,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the last commercial slot will always be Mediacorp's
Okay.
TV slot to tell you about the show that's coming up after this particular
Okay.
show. Even that was bought.
Ah.
In Malaysia, when I first went there, they say, "Hey bro, your show very funny lah, but it's damn long." And I say, "Well, long, half an hour only. Well, you show 1 hour." I say, "Oh, they show 2 episodes in one day." No, only 1 episode. That's it.
Ads.
Yes.
Wow.
So my friend told me, he said, "Bro, I can go and drink coffee, come back, still end." Then after that, they show a little bit, then I go and make baby come back, then watch the show. So that was how long it was. But I think that was part and parcel of how good the show was, I guess.
And to break the monopoly as well, Under One Roof's wins in the
Yeah.
in the
Asian
awards as well,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wow.
So we beat them. So that's why we started getting everybody's attention, and we will continue to win best sitcom, best. In fact, sitcom won 6 times. I only won 5 times. Yeah.
That's a disappointment.
All right.
Okay. At any one point in time, did you have a problem with the character having bad English, for example, Singlish and what have you? At any one time, in terms of, because it goes out to the masses and kids,
Yeah.
and did you have any?
No, look, I'm an advocate actually for Singlish.
Right.
For longest time, I don't know, maybe we still are looking for a Singapore identity.
Okay.
We get the orchid lah, we get the clothes lah, and all that. But to me, the language is what stands out. It's a melting pot of 4 different cultures coming together, and just rojak a bit here and there, and then
Yeah.
Singlish comes out.
Okay.
My take is that Singlish is synonymous with who we are. And the issues that people have is that then the outside world can't understand what we're speaking.
Right.
And I say just switch, which is what I do.
Yeah.
Now my kids watch a few episodes of Phua Chu Kang. Even then I was there to tell them, hey, this is something that you don't speak to others because Papa is doing it for work. It's only funny, but it's not proper English. And when parents turn around to complain about their child being miseducated by my show, I felt it was very unjust. If you want your child to be educated, watch Sesame Street lah. But if you're watching this show with them, then be there with them. Be the parent you're supposed to be. Don't pass the buck to me. And I was a bit pissed with that. But I just let it go. And, we went to the stage where even PCK was mentioned in National Day Rally.
Yeah.
That was very scary, by the way. I was given an email to say, watch the rally because PM Go is going to talk about you and PCK. So the day came, I was sitting at the front of the TV with the bag already packed in case I had to run away from the country. And then, but kudos to him because he took it in a very light-hearted manner, but with some serious undercurrents, which is great.
Yeah.
Without, bashing me down, all that kind of thing. And the next season, we came back, season 2, we came back with a better version of PCK, meaning no more last man, all that.
Okay.
But because I could still speak like this, then the fearing is still there.
Yeah.
So I don't have to say feeling, I can say fearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that still helps us. Although people still miss the lie, the man.
It's Gurmeet, that's great. That's a great lesson actually, right? And we talk about, speaking good English, and we can do that while watching PCK.
Yeah.
It's a show.
Yeah.
That entertains all of us.
Yeah.
And it's funny, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. But we need to, like you said, right? You need to teach your kids because you can still watch an English, a good speaking, whatever, a proper English movie or whatever, and with vulgarities in there, and then kids will still pick it up.
Yeah.
But what do? You tell your kids,
Yeah.
it's a good show, but then do not say these words out because it's a show, it's a movie, right?
Yeah.
So it's about education.
Yeah.
And we switch.
Right.
Right now, I'm speaking to you probably in good English, but sometimes I use the la and whatever. But
Yeah.
when I go out, when I speak in a official setting,
Yeah.
you don't use that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think people forget that, we're not the only country that has this language, local language
Yeah.
problem, or if you want to call it a problem, I don't think it's a problem. Because if you look around the world, there are many countries with their own version of the English. The Irish, the Aussies, and what they
Yeah.
all have,
Yeah.
they've bastardized the English a little bit
Yeah.
to suit their own little
Yeah.
character, right? Which is, I think, is great.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, winning the best actor, right?
Yeah.
In a as a comedian or
Yeah.
in a comedic role 5 times, right? What was the feeling like the very first time? I think that's the most important. I think. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the first time was I didn't expect it at all. I mean,
Yeah.
we were against Under One Rule. I said, come on now, please, let's be reasonable here.
Who were you up against in that particular?
I don't remember, man.
Was it?
Either Moses or Nicholas or Andrew, right? And they're all funny guys. They're all funny characters, right? And I thought, no way I could win this. And then they announced my name, and I was so shocked. But I do remember I was so shocked that I was hosting the Asian Television Awards.
that same year as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I took off my jacket and threw it on the floor. I said, I can't win. And later on, I got a stern warning from the wardrobe mistress. Like, don't you ever throw a jacket again. It was Armani. I said, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was then second time I won it. I said, wow, this is ridiculous, man. Then the third time I won it, I said, now I have to keep winning. Otherwise, I will.
Yeah.
When the day I
It's
lose,
a failure.
will be the failure, right? And the fourth time I won, I said, oh man, okay, this is going well. This is going well. Like bowling, winning. And then the fifth time we went, and the sixth time lost. Ooh. And then that's it. The whole media came in and said, "Oh, you lost. What do you think? Is this the down? Is it downhill now for PCK and for you and all that?" I said, "No. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose." So, yeah.
Any interesting bits about your co-stars?
Keng Hua, who plays Margaret, or PCK calls her Maggot, eats half a curry puff and then leaves it on the plate.
Why?
Don't know. She can't finish all.
Seriously.
She always does.
For
that.
anything, for any kind of food, like
Mostly because we have snacks in the rehearsal room. Or
Did you
in the-
tell her about the kids in Ethiopia or anything like that?
Yeah, I
did?
tried. She said, I cannot eat anymore. That's why she's so skinny, like maggot. But it was just little idiosyncrasies and all that. And then we would always, after rehearsals, we will stick around to play. And I think that is what really got the chemistry going. We play soccer, where one day we broke a mirror.
On set.
No. This is rehearsal room.
Okay.
We finally got our own rehearsal room.
Yeah.
It was a ballet studio,
Okay.
a dance studio, I mean.
Okay.
And they have mirrors, right?
Yeah.
So kicking the ball around and then broke one mirror.
It's okay. You guys can
Yeah.
afford to pay by then.
and then no, I didn't pay. The others,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
production had to pay. And then we went through a lot together as a family. We went through weddings, we went through wakes,
Nice.
miscarriages,
Wow.
births, and all that. So really got closer and closer. We would stay back and play games like charades and all. Not because we thought, okay, this will help us become a better family. No, because we just enjoy each
Naturally.
other's company, and naturally we will do it. No, and then I think that really helped us.
Gurmeet, it was basically stardom, right? Like during that period, it's stardom. Like it's your star, right?
Yeah.
You're a star. You're hosting events, you this and that, and you're so busy and whatever.
Yeah.
Fans in the streets.
Yeah.
Like people get to stop you. I'm sure many fans stopped you. How did it feel like just walking in the streets and people?
Well, early on, I already embraced the fact that this is part and parcel of my job.
Yeah.
You cannot be a surgeon and say, I don't want to see blood. You have to see blood, right? I'm not saying that these are bloody people, but I'm just saying that, it's part of the thing. And
Sama.
let's do that.
Okay.
But there was one time my sisters went out with me, and I get stopped, take pictures,
Yeah.
autograph, little chit chat and all that. And we finished, came back home, and my sister says, you know what, it's very funny going out with you. I said, why? Going out with you is like an MP. Like going with an MP because you're shaking everybody's hands.
Yes.
It's very funny. I said,
Yes.
well, that's part of my job.
Yeah.
So I've always said that if I don't feel like shaking hands or meeting and greeting and all that because I'm very tired, don't leave the house or don't leave the car. But once I step out, I must allow people that space to come in because at the end of the day, they are my paymasters. Not the CEO, not the company.
Yeah.
They decide my future. They decide if I should come back with another project or not.
Right.
So in a way, they're my boss.
Yeah.
So I make every effort to cater as much as possible to them. And
Yeah.
and there are some people who, of course, who take it a bit too far. I tell you a story.
Yes.
I was at a project or event, something like that, and then this lady came up to me and said, "Oh, Gurmeet, you're so different now." I said, "Sorry, what do you mean?" "You're so friendly and all that. Huh? Last time you were very proud." I said, "Oh my goodness, how did that happen? Can you please tell me? Because I don't want to be
Yeah.
like that, right?" She said, okay, it was Orchard Road. I said, okay, Orchard Road, okay. I waved to you. I said, hello. And then you didn't say anything to me. I said, oh my goodness. I said, how rude is that? Can you tell me exactly where we're standing on it? She said, okay, you know the Wisma, the staircase, MRT coming out onto the walkway? Orchard Road.
Yes.
I said, okay, so I was walking on the stairs. She said, yeah, you're walking on the stairs. I said, and then you were coming up, is it? She said, no. I was across the road at Thanks.
What?
Are you kidding me? She was across the road at Busy Orchard, and she waved to say, hey, come in. And of course, I can't hear her. I can't even see her. And she thought that was rude of me. And I was being very proud. So I was like, wow.
Very proud like you.
I know, sorry. Yeah, I'm waving at you now, okay? I'm waving. Wait, everybody wave. But that's the kind of different, all kinds of people that I meet, right?
Great.
Right?
Yeah.
I tell you this, within the first 3 months of my life on 5, I was sent up to the management's office because there was a letter of complaint against me.
Why?
Exactly, right? I was wondering, what have I done
Again,
wrong?
you never wave at somebody else again.
I know, maybe I should just walk around like that.
Yeah.
Just cover my base. And the manager said, I'll read the letter to you. To whom it may concern, I want it to be on record now that I will not support Gurmeet as a fan.
Yeah.
What I think he's done is very wrong.
Yeah.
His hair parting is on the wrong side. So my hair parting is on my left hand side, and this person felt it was wrong. And I stood there I'm like, okay, then I said, okay, so that means I have to
Change
my parting to my right side. Then the manager said, then there'll be another letter saying that they cannot
Correct.
take your right parting.
Or they can't recognize you anymore.
Yeah. So the manager said, no matter what you do, you cannot please everybody.
Yeah.
As long as you do what is right in your conscience, and you're not doing it at the expense of somebody else's health,
Yeah.
by all means,
Oh, that's a good point, right?
Right?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, right. Very good. Gurmeet, just looking back, right? How
I'm
does
looking
it
back.
how does it feel? A Sikh boy
Yes,
growing up,
yes.
playing a Chinese contractor, being best in Singapore and Batam and Malaysia and wherever, winning awards,
Yeah.
having fans idolizing you,
Mm.
talking about your hair parting, this and that, not waving at you, or not you waving back,
Yeah.
doing ever so well. Even Shopee's first Singaporean brand ambassador as Puan Chukang,
I
right?
know, right?
How does it feel? Like just looking back.
It's
and-
unbelievable. Till today, I'm pinching myself. I look up to the skies, the heavens, and say, God, I don't know what I did to deserve this.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I did the Shopee thing, right? And before that,
last year, right?
yes. And by the way, before that, the ambassador was Ronaldo.
Yes, of course.
So when they chose me, I said, oh, shoot, what am I going to do?
Same level playing field, man.
My son came back home one day and he said, Dad, my friends came to me and said, Bro, your father is Shopee's ambassador. Before that was Ronaldo. Bro, your father and Ronaldo, bro. They were like so proud of being his friends kind of thing. I don't know really. I had lots of words.
Yeah.
Right. I don't remember that I was saying I'm hoping that I would get this job when I was a little boy.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun. But it's gone beyond more than fun. It's such a blessing. I was once walking into Chimes many years ago, and 2 kids came up to me and said, "Hello, Uncle Gurmeet." I said, "Hello. We saw you on TV." And I said, "Well, I saw you too." Then, huh? I said, "Joking." Ha. Then it went off.
Yeah.
And my mother came along,
Yeah.
and she said this. I quote, "It must be such a blessing to know that you bring joy to people."
Wow.
Oh, my jaw dropped. Because a lot of parents will say, "Hey, sign autograph, away. Hello, sign autograph." Very rude in your face.
Yeah.
But this one took the time to give me a compliment properly. And that put me in a correct perspective that I have a lot of responsibility. We have great responsibility. Okay.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Because it's true, isn't it? Because whether I like it or not, people are looking at me. That's why I have not ducked my nose in public
With your last finger.
with any fingers or any toes, because people are watching me all the time.
Yeah.
And that I think is a good thing because it helps me put me on my toes and be a bit more upstanding.
And,
if I
yeah,
can.
and then you've got no choice anyway, right? Right now,
Yeah.
you're already in the public eye. So yeah, you hosted the NDP a million times.
20.
Okay,
I was counting.
all at your fingertips, right? Singapore Idol, Gotcha, even Gotcha, right?
Yes.
Obviously, Mo Alkaf did that as well.
Yes.
Miss Universe, was it Miss
Yes.
Universe? Miss World,
Miss Universe twice.
Universe twice. You acted in movies, drama, sing, rap, dance,
Ooh.
everything.
Yes.
You almost everything basically, right?
What else is
You,
there?
you once said that you are like the jack of all trades,
Yes.
but master of none. Do you
Correct.
still feel the same way?
Yes, I do. For sure, 100%.
Yeah?
Without hesitation. Without hesitation.
Yeah.
Without hesitation. Yeah, because I look at other performers and I can see they really are a class of their own, league of their own in whatever they do. But for me, I think maybe that's my strength, that I am so diverse, right? And people don't know what to expect from me. I could be hosting a D&D and suddenly break into ballet because I can do ballet as well.
Yeah.
Or I do tap dance, or I do lion dance,
Yeah.
you know. Things like that. And I think all these things help me become so-called a better performer.
Well-rounded.
Well-rounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm happy with that. You know, some people might say, "Oh, you're not a master of anything." I'm not
Nice.
not particular about that.
That's great, you know, because sometimes you talk about hosting as well. So while hosting, you can do many things
Yeah.
to entertain the crowd. That
Yeah.
is what they want anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Play games,
Yeah.
banter, interact with the crowd.
yeah,
And then a lot of times you have to think on your feet, you know, and that differentiates you from the regular standard MC,
Yeah.
because I tell you, once we did a D&D, and for some reason we had a technical failure,
Okay.
so microphone not working, and this was really lucky draw,
where you needed the microphone the most.
most of all,
Yeah.
and it's 500 people, 50 tables.
What?
So luckily I was theatre trained. I
Okay.
was trained in NPCC. I was the commander. Squad, steady, you know. And I was having a very loud voice and everything. We went to competition, we got second
Yeah,
place and all
yeah.
that. So I used that lah. Lucky number 4, 3, 5, 7. And people were laughing. They were like, "Oh my god, this thing going on? Shit."
Cool. That's class actually, right? Now you left Munico after 20 years.
Yeah.
And it was well documented that it was because of family, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and so you had to scale down everything. You know, sacrificing house and even the Lambo.
The Lambo.
But let me tell you this, right? Or maybe I'm asking you a question. It must have been worth all that sacrifice.
Oh, for sure, man.
You know,
For sure.
Lambo, house, whatever. You know, you can call it what you want, but nothing beats the feeling of seeing your kids growing up. So,
What?
yeah.
Yeah, I kind of missed that actually, growing up, because when they were growing up, I wasn't there. And for the longest time, I was consoling myself by saying that even though I have no time for them, I'm providing for the family.
In other ways, right?
Yeah. And which is funny, because I remember growing up, I hardly had time with my father.
Okay.
And I told myself I don't want to be that kind of father, but I ended up doing the same thing.
Mm.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have 2 jobs. I had too many jobs.
yeah. Yeah,
Right.
ironically, right?
Right, because I was on a fixed salary. So as far as the station was concerned, if I had empty slot, if I was a project I could do, they'll put me in there.
So it's fixed.
Yeah,
So even if you had
no jobs, I still get paid.
right,
But of course, they wouldn't allow that to
yeah,
happen.
of course. But then,
But
but the worst part is to actually do like 20 jobs, like loads
yeah,
of them,
so
right?
I
Yeah.
could be doing a PCK rehearsal from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, then going for a photo shoot from 5 to 7, and then doing a guest appearance from 9 to midnight. Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So it just goes round and round the clock.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's tiring.
It is very tiring. You know, the thing is that because I love this job so much, I was getting tired from the job, but not getting tired of the job. That's the difference there,
Okay,
right?
nicely put.
Yeah. So I on another given day, a given different project or different job for that matter, I would have really hated going to work. But to me, it was fun. It was good. It was
Yeah.
nice. It was play.
Yeah.
Basically, and I told myself, I have the luckiest gig, the best gig in the world. I go on stage, make fun of people, and I get paid.
Right. It's an interesting point, right? About loving what you do,
Yeah.
but you get tired of it, but you're not tired of the job per
Yeah,
se, right?
Right.
It's,
Right.
Gurmeet, you had a near-death experience.
Yeah. And that's when I got my neurologist who told me that I don't have athletic fit, I only have fits.
Yeah, but tell me what happened leading up to that, because it was
Yeah,
scary.
it is.
I was reading it.
Yeah.
I was like, hell.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
What? So I get a call. It's my wife, and she says, "Where are you?" I say, "I don't know." She says, "What do you mean you don't know?" I say, "I'm in a room, and they're full of lockers here." She said, "Yeah, you're in a gym, locker room. I'm next door in the spa. You're supposed to join me after you finish your gym." I am. What gym is this? remember I bought you the membership? I have a membership? Yeah, I got you a trainer. I have a trainer? Yeah, I remember I was totally out. She said, okay, now you come out. So on the phone, still on the phone, I came out. Luckily, I saw my wife. I recognized her. I didn't say, who are you? And then she said, after that, I proceeded to ask the same 10 questions. How did I get here? You have a gym. I have a gym? Yeah, you have a instructor. I have an instructor? Oh, wait, how come? Like, over and over again. So on the way back, she decided to stop going home, put me in the hospital, went to get it checked. Why I was asking. So they did the MRI and scanned my brain, right?
Okay.
While doing that, we shared that I also have had this faints, right? Fits.
Okay.
And they thought maybe I had fainted, and knocked my head, but they checked, no bumps, nothing.
Okay.
And the neurologist said maybe it was a skip in your cardio rhythm. Go see a cardiologist.
Right.
Right. And by the way, I have 48 hours in my life that I cannot recollect.
So you don't know what happened?
Don't know what happened. I can't remember getting out of my house to going to the gym, all the way to getting admitted, and only because I was there for 5 days, 2 days in ICU and 3 days in observation. And my sisters and all that showed me recording of our conversation in the hospital bed. I don't recall at all.
Wow.
And so we were at the cardiologist, and he said we'll do this bed tilt test, which is they put you on a bed, they strap you up, and then they after that bring the bed up vertically, and I face the wall for 30 minutes, full 30 minutes, a white wall, most boring part of my life. And then later on they give you a little liquid substance, that's adrenaline, and suddenly it makes your heart pump very fast. They want to find out where is your threshold. 5% of the patients will pass out, and then the bed will go back down, the blood rushes back to the brain, you wake up, and they tell you, oh, you fainted at whatever. Right? Yeah. So that happened to me. So fast that I couldn't even finish my sentence. Because once they put the liquid in, they said, wow, guys, I think before I could say, okay, I'm going to faint, I passed out. When I woke up, I saw doctors and nurses around me. And I said, oh, doctor, I guess I have more of those 5%. I was very weak, fainted. They said, Mr. Singh, not only do you faint, your heart stops. Your heart stopped more than 30 seconds. We had to pump manually sternum. You say it gave us a fright. We lost you there for a while.
For 30 seconds.
More than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I said, wow, I didn't notice at all. I didn't know. For me, I just went for a nap. Right?
Yeah.
And so they went for more tests and everything. Come back to the neurologist for the review of the results. And he says, we found some scarring on your brain. And I say, oh, shoot, what does that mean then? It says it means that you're not stupid, you're using your brain.
Too much, maybe.
No, not too much. It's just normal. Is it normal where? Because if you're a bodo, you never use your brain, you'll be very clean, very smooth. But you're using your brain. So as far as I'm concerned, no issue. I don't know what happened. When the cardiologist, they said we went through your
the heart.
137 heartbeats, that's when you passed out. Beyond that, we have no idea what happened. Why your heart stopped. So today I don't have an answer to what happened, but because of that, today I am very grateful for every day that I wake up.
And the scary part about not knowing exactly why it happened, it could happen again.
True that. But for me, I want to focus on that. I wake up every day and let's make the best of it, because that could be my last day. Because I was just thinking about, doing a little test and then I'm done. Not knowing that that could have been my last one. So whatever you're going through, just take each day as a gift,
Beautiful. Now you had a radio experience like
well, yes, I did. Yes, and now the next song goes out to
with Gold.
Yes, Gold 905.
About a year and a half.
16 months.
Yeah. How was that experience like?
It was great because I love music. I play music wherever I go, in the car and wherever I am. And I thought one day, I used to think when TV is done with me, I would like to go on radio. And so one fine day, I text the radio manager and say, hey, can we sit down for coffee?
It was Arena.
Yes. I spoke to her and she said, wait a minute, is my office booked? I said, what do you mean? I was just about to text you to ask you to come in and collaborate. I said, oh, let's do this. The first couple of weeks was fun, waking up at 4:30 in the morning.
That was no fun, man. Come on.
Well, it was still fun for me for the first 2 weeks. But after that, it was no fun. After the novelty of it all. And I realized quickly that I am the kind of guy that must wake up with the sun. Because what started happening was that I started becoming very lethargic for the entire day.
Okay.
And no matter what kind of pattern I use, as in naps or
Okay.
no nap or
Yeah.
sleep early,
Yeah.
sleep longer, sleep shorter, whatever, it did not solve the problem.
Yeah.
And I knew it was a big problem because on Saturdays and Sundays I'll be alright
Okay.
because I woke up with the sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought one day if I just tahan a bit more, one day I'm sure I'll hit the sweet spot. I remember speaking to the Muttons.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing the morning show for I think 14 years now.
100 years. I think.
I think actually it was their father doing it. Then they came on and nobody knew the transition. And I said, dude, how do you do it? I remember Vernon A saying, dude, I also don't know how. I also struggling. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult job, but we do it anyway because we love the job. And he has to take a 1 hour nap every day.
Who?
Vernon A.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I understand Flying Dutchman as well does that too.
Yeah.
So things like that, I thought, wow, if they're doing it, you're pushing through, maybe I should do it as well.
Yeah.
But after a while, it just couldn't take it anymore.
After a while, it was 16 months.
No, I like to give it a good go, Then so that nobody can say that.
Yeah, okay, I tried. Yeah,
weak.
yeah, we tried.
Gave it a good run, and had to go lah. Just had to go.
Yeah, and all the more, right? Just looking at all these guys who've been doing it for 100 years.
Respect,
man.
right?
What?
What the heck is going on? What they're doing?
And it always seems to be the same people doing the morning show, right? And
Yeah.
and because of the ratings, obviously, you talk about the Glen Ongs and the Flying Dutchman, the Muttons, and all.
Yeah.
They've been doing a great job.
Yeah.
Consistently
Yeah.
over the past 100 years.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant, right? So yeah. So before we go, right, Kevin, just a quick fire round.
Mm-hmm.
We just answer probably like easy for you, off the cuff type of thing.
Here we go.
10 questions, right? Your favorite comedian?
Robin Williams.
Wow. Favorite co-star?
Well, co-star,
Yeah.
like with me, working with me.
Yeah.
The Adrian Pang.
Aiden Pang, yes. Favorite football team?
Don't have. I just watch football for the fun of it.
Nice. Your pet peeve?
Oh, pet peeve, so many videos.
Anything? Okay.
People who, when I signal to my right, they block me.
Ah.
Why can't they let me just go?
How about those who never signal? That's the worst also. Like, they don't signal anything.
I can understand.
I can't understand
No,
that.
wait. Let me make you be understanding.
Okay.
Maybe they forgot. Maybe they're distracted. So they just went without signaling. But look at this. My pet peeve, right? I signal to my right. You saw me coming. I saw you there. You're going at a speed where I can come in, and then you decide, no way, Jose. I'm gonna speed up and block you. That's deliberate.
Or
man.
maybe I didn't see the signal.
No, but you speed up.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
So I check. I check. I give you a fair chance. I check. No, it's not speeding up. Okay, I signal. Not speeding up. I want to go. Wow!
Yeah, that's one as well, right?
Oh.
Especially if you really need to turn because you need to make that turn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't-
But I'm still not letting off the fellow who never signal. Damn. Biggest achievement, in your opinion, your biggest achievement?
Having my 3 children, having my family.
Wonderful. Biggest disappointment?
Having my 3 children, having my No, I'm kidding. Please don't divorce me. Disappointment. This is okay. When I was a kid, one of the things, my ambition was to have so much money that I have a chauffeur for my parents.
Ah.
But my parents passed away in 2001 and 2003. And I think that was the next 4 years, I was very angry. I was very bitter. I was always crying in my car every day for 4 years.
Wow.
Which nobody saw, of course, because I still had a job to do. I still had to do comedy and all that.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize why I was so hard on myself until one day I realized, because I didn't get a chance to buy mom and dad a big house, put them in a chauffeur limousine, and they can go wherever they want, do whatever they want. I missed that chance. I'll never be able to do that again. So that was my biggest disappointment.
Next up, acting or hosting?
Oh, it's 2 different apples, dude.
Choose one. It's my show.
Acting or hosting?
Or hosting.
Singing.
Right. That's the only way I can get an answer from you.
No, really, but I love singing.
Okay.
Of all the
Yeah?
performing arts, singing is my
okay.
favorite interest.
Who is the person whom you would like to meet most and why?
Means most
Person.
living person or dead person.
Can be anyone, but living better lah.
Living better. Okay. Trevor Noah. Yeah.
Why?
He's got a good head on his shoulders, right? Because
What,
he
the
got-
hair or?
No, the head.
Not the hair.
Not the hair. The hair. Oh, wild. Because not only is a good comedian, stand-up comedian, and all that, but he also has a good viewpoints on social issues, political issues. And when he explains himself, I said, "Oh, that's a good perspective."
I love the accent, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to one of your answers just now. You know, you talk about being in the car, crying every day, right?
Yeah.
And then you need to open the door, go out because that's your job outside.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's happening everywhere. As in, like, people don't understand that part. Like, you know, I've got a job to do, and people don't understand what's going on inside of me. And sometimes people may be overcritical of that person over there.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Because you know, it's tough, isn't it? Like you wake up every day, and maybe not on that particular day you woke up on the right side of bed, but you still got to go out there, be professional, and do a job. How difficult is that? You know,
it is very difficult, right? Because, and here's the thing: those of you who before you judge somebody or criticize somebody, you just have that little at the back of mind the thought that maybe this person has something else going on. Give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And if you are that person going through some stuff, what I do is that I change the focus from myself to others. So remember how I said I'm still nervous about getting in front of the camera and doing something like that? Because I am so afraid I'll screw it up. That I'll waste people's time and money. But once I step on the stage, I don't think about my anxiety or my nervousness. I think about you watching this and how I can entertain you. How can I make this a good day for you? A good 1 hour, a good half an hour, whatever that session is, and make it worth your while. And then when you start changing that it's not about you, it's about others, then you move on to to do your job.
That comes with experience and, you know, the strategy to cope. You know, the coping strategy. Well done. What's in store for Gurmit 5 years down the road?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, reporters used to ask me, what's your plan in 5 years' time? I'll tell them I don't even know what's happening next week or even tomorrow. Because my industry is such a fickle-minded industry. I'm very grateful that I'm still flavor of the month kind of thing, right? I'm still in the good books of my paymasters. So I continue doing what I do and I enjoy doing that. But I could do something horribly wrong tomorrow. And that's it. That's the end of me. I can't show my certificate, you know, my A-level certificate is 8, by the way.
It is how it is, isn't it? Like right now, like you may be, like you said, the flavor of the month. Once you go or whatever, replacement is just
there's 1,000 other better Gurmits waiting to come into the foray.
Not necessarily, but there are 1,000 other people out there. Not better people, but you know what I mean, right? So that's a very good advice. Lastly, Gurmit, any advice for anyone who wants to carve out a career in showbiz? Because
I think I sort of touched that just now when I said that the new ones who come in think that after one show, one project, superstar, I'm gonna, bling bling. No, man, you gotta remember, keep in mind, and I think a lot of them when they get into that stardom in their head, they treat the fans and the people around them differently. When they forget that the fans and the people around them are the ones who put them there. They are your CEOs. They are your paymasters. Don't ever forget that. And I'm not saying kowtow to them and all that, but just be a decent human being. You know, don't be such a jerk just because you think you're better than them. You're not. You may be in a nicer studio shooting something that you like, but doesn't mean you're a higher ranking being than them. In fact, if anything, there are a lot of people around me who are more beautiful than I am, and I say that assuming I'm beautiful, but they are very nice, good people. I mean, the heart is so big and generous, and I'm like, wow, So don't be an asshole.
That's the best advice, man. That's the best advice,
right? I know you have one, but don't be one.
Great, well done, Gurmit Singh. Thank you so much for being on episode 43 of this podcast. I think it has been a great storytelling session. It's not even a question and answer. It's not even, it's just like a beautiful conversation that I've had with you. Thank you so much for being here. I always say this, you didn't need to be here, but you are here.
That you need to be here?
You didn't
now he tells me.
Yeah. Thanks for answering the call again, and you've been very inspirational.
Oh, thank you.
This has been episode number 43. Now, at the end of the podcast, if you're listening to this one, at the end, do not forget to follow or subscribe to this podcast. Leave a review also when we are out on YouTube. Till the next episode, The hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. Cheers.